We are now on episode 4 of 6 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they finally did it. What I've been saying, what I've been actually giving this show props for compared to the other Disney Plus shows, the fact that each episode is like over 40 minutes. Like, we haven't gotten one of those short-ass half-hour episodes like we did with Moon Knight. And this episode's like 30 minutes long. We get a 30, like, if you include the credits and everything, like, if you factor that in, this episode's like 30 minutes long. Which really sucks when the season is 6 episodes long. I just hate that Disney Plus does that. But regardless, let's talk about this episode aside from its episode length. So spoilers, if you haven't seen the episode, I will be delving into spoilers. There's your warning. Anyways, let's get into it. The episode starts off with Obi-Wan in a bacta tank, because of course it does. You can figure that out because of what happened last episode with him getting burned by Vader. We get a nice little sequence to where we see like parallels of him being in the bacta tank and Vader being in the bacta tank, and the complete difference between Obi-Wan like suffering and like healing in the bacta tank compared to Vader just straight up hatred in the bacta tank and just focused. Like, there's a big difference there, and I like seeing that. And then we cut to the worst part of every single episode, which is Third Sister, and she's especially bad this episode. So every single episode, this character sucks, and the acting's always iffy. Like, sometimes she's fine, then sometimes she tries too hard, and it's really bad. The acting's just kind of, That being said, as far as the whole controversy goes with this actress, if anyone's in her DM saying anything to her, you're a loser. What is your problem? Like, I know that is the minority, though. Disney likes to blow that stuff up. It happens every time anything gets criticized. They like to blow up the minority of fans that are, like, doing insane crap. I know most people aren't doing that. Most Star Wars fans aren't like that. I hate when they try to paint all Star Wars fans like that. But the people that are doing that, you're insane. What is your problem? But there's nothing wrong with critiquing a character or the acting or anything like that. But going and personally messaging that person, insanity, insane behavior. Anyways, all that being said, this character sucks and the acting's not very good. Like, in this, like, half of the episode is this supposed to be badass, intimidating Inquisitor interrogating a 10-year-old child, and it is laughable. It is so bad, like, that part of the episode. And it's like half the episode. Like, you cut between interesting stuff with Obi-Wan to Third Sister interrogating Leia. She wants to know about the Jedi smuggling route that we saw last episode that Quinlan Voss used and others. She wants to know about that, and she thinks Leia knows about it, so she keeps questioning her, like, tell me where they're going, where are they smuggling these Jedi, blah, 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 and all that crap. And the optics of it, and also the acting from Reva and it's just not good. She's like, tell me where they are, and it's like, God, this is the least intimidating Inquisitor I've ever seen in my life. Like, a 10-year-old girl won't even crack to her. Like, you are pathetic. And I don't think they want you to see Reva as that. I think they want you to see Reva as, like, this reckless, kind of scary type Inquisitor. But instead, she comes off like an idiot that tries too hard. Like, she just comes off as annoying and stupid. But yeah, through one way or another, Obi-Wan figures out that they are on the, what's it called? Palace Inquisitor or something like that. The place you go at the end of Fallen Order where all the Inquisitors are. Figures out that they're there. So Obi-Wan's got to break into there. They're like, hey, there's no shields. We could do it, but it's like, it's because it's a suicide mission. And they figure, oh wait, we have that Imperial spy lady from last episode. She can get us in there because her cover hasn't been blown yet. No one really saw her doing anything. So she goes there. But when she's there, she's like, she like shows up, and the head of security there is like, wait, this isn't your post. What the hell are you doing here? You're on some random ass like farming planet or like mining planet, and now you're here. What? Why are you on, the Inquisitor Palace place? And she has this whole thing where she's like, I am your commanding officer. You will tell me, sir. And it's like, but you're ma'am, aren't you? It's a really dumb scene. It's a really dumb Disney scene where it's just like, haha, see, women can be sirs too, and it's like, that doesn't really make any sense, but okay. It's just a dumb scene. And she gets into the Inquisitor Palace, and we get a throwback. We get Obi-Wan in the water doing his little like frog swim with his rebreather like in the Phantom Menace. So that was, of course, nostalgic and cool to see. And he is able to swim in through an area that's open, and he gets in there and he takes out, just dismantles a stormtrooper. And he gets in there, and we get some, some classic Obi-Wan espionage, like we saw in A New Hope when he sneaks around the Death Star, or in Attack of the Clones when he's sneaking around. Obi-Wan sneaks around. That's kind of his thing. He's like the Sam Fisher of Jedi. So he's sneaking around here, and again, this whole time we're cutting between Obi-Wan doing interesting stuff and Leia getting interrogated by an Inquisitor. And oh my god, dude. Just seeing an Inquisitor that's supposed to be so intimidating and scary, just struggle with a 10-year-old child is so dumb. Like, I cannot stress this enough, how dumb this part of the episode is. Another thing that's kind of stupid with this episode is the Imperial lady gets in because she just, she just big balls her way in, like, hey, I'm a higher ranking officer than you, so head of security, let me through. And he's like, gets all afraid and is like, oh, okay, yes sir. And so she gets through, and then she gets to this place where she can like see the map of the palace to like tell Obi-Wan where to go. And she's like 5 feet away from another guy that's in that room talking to Obi-Wan the entire time. And that guy apparently doesn't hear or notice anything. It's just one of the things where like the logistics of it don't really make sense. It's like, why wouldn't you just, like, you're planning this scene, just have it to where that room's empty. Like, that for me is easier for me to believe that that room is empty than that guy that's 5 feet away doesn't hear her or Obi-Wan, or doesn't notice something going on. And then someone does eventually, like, show up and be like, hey, you're not supposed to be here, and then she just kills that guy. So that happens. But we get to see Obi-Wan finally use his lightsaber against, like, actually use it for anything other than defending against Vader. So that was cool. We got to see him take out some stormtroopers to save Leia. Like, that was sick. I really like that because it's all dark. That she's in the she's in the interrogation room. Obi-Wan turns off the lights, and the first stormtrooper he takes out, it's personal. Like, this is all the rage for what Vader just did to him. Like, he decimates this first stormtrooper. And I know it's Disney, and I know in the original trilogy, no stormtroopers lost limbs, but it would have been cool to maybe see something like that happen in this. Like, I feel like with a TV-14 rating, which I believe is what this thing has, they could take a limb off, but it's Disney, so they don't want to do that. But yeah, he takes out the stormtroopers. It looks cool. The lighting and effects and everything are on point. It looks great. As much as I've been harping on all the interrogation stuff that's bad, everything with Obi-Wan in this episode is pretty good. I like seeing Obi-Wan sneak around, do his Obi-Wan thing, and save Leia. I like that stuff. And it's also cool to see Obi-Wan take initiative for once, because in the other episodes, he kind of just like along for the ride. But in this one, they took Leia, and he just got his ass beat by Vader. So he's on a mission. He's like, we have to get Leia back. Like, he is on point, and I like seeing that. Third sister is able to suss out that the Imperial officer is not an Imperial officer and is actually a spy, and so she like gets held captive for a second, and then she just takes out the stormtroopers. And I have no problem with her taking out stormtroopers, because stormtroopers have always been goofy and like not very good at anything ever, but I feel like they could have done this fight better. It just looks a little stupid the way she takes out the stormtroopers. Again, no problem with her taking out stormtroopers, because stormtroopers are just a bunch of dumbasses. But the way she does it just does not look right. I feel like they could have, like, however, I don't know, the stunt coordinator or whatever, however they planned this fight, like, it's only like 2-3 seconds or something. But it looks a little goofy, because she slaps one. Like, they have a big-ass helmet on. Slapping a and he's like all discombobulated after getting slapped, and then another she like grabs under. It looks bad. Like, and then she takes one of their blasters and shoots them. It's like, okay, why didn't she just do that from the beginning? When she like slaps one and like grabs the other's chin, it's like really weird and goofy, awkward looking. Like, I feel like they could have done that stunt better. I don't know how no one else thought, yeah, maybe we should do this a little different way. Like, they should just had her immediately like grab their blaster, or like take someone's knees out and then like take a blaster instead of slapping a helmet. Like, that doesn't really make sense. But anyways, she escapes. Obi-Wan is trying to help Leia, but of course everyone knows he's there because he gets spotted by like a security droid. So he fights some stormtroopers, some droids. It's pretty cool. Again, like, I love the lighting of the lightsabers and the blasters. I will say one thing though, the blocking just looks a little slower when you're comparing it to the prequels. I get it, it's the stormtroopers. I guess they generally don't shoot, the E11s or whatever they use don't shoot as fast as the blasters that the droids use, I guess. Maybe that's it or something. But there were some scenes where they were blocking lasers, and I was like, this looks just kind of slow. Like, I could block these lasers, maybe. I don't know. I guess maybe they just wanted it to be more original trilogy-like, which is fine. That's just kind of a nitpick, not really a problem I had with the episode, just something I noticed where I was like, some of this looks slow. And then we get a scene that's very Fallen Order-like, where some glass gets broken. Obi-Wan uses the Force to stop the water, and then uses the water in his favor to take out some stormtroopers. And I will say I like the way a lot of this is shot as well. That's something that this show hasn't done great with for most episodes. The cinematography has been kind of lackluster. There are some cool shots here and there, but for the most part, the cinematography has been pretty lackluster. But in this episode, I like the way they shot in the hallways and like showing Obi-Wan using his lightsabers and taking out stormtroopers. Like, it looks cool. It looks good. They did a good job with that. I feel like the cinematography probably was the best in this episode, better than it has been in the previous 3. But then they start to escape. They get like after all that chaos, they get to the upper level. Obi-Wan gets a disguise, and they're walking out, and then Reva susses them out, and is like, "At you, blah blah blah." And then we get some speeders that show up and start taking out all the stormtroopers. So the speeders came in because earlier in the episode, the people that you meet at the planet that help them go to the Inquisitor Palace show up. It's like Ice Cube's son and 2 other random people. They're whatever characters. I don't really care about them at all. They're fine. They're like, they don't add or take anything away to the episode. They're just there to serve a purpose for the story. They're not like anything important. It's just like, oh, we need our characters to get here. How do they get here? Oh, add this guy in. That's all they are. They're just tools. So yeah, they show up at the end to save them, and the CGI is a little iffy on the ships. Like, it doesn't look horrible, but it's not that great. It's very convenient how they kill literally everyone except for Reva. Like, they do this airstrike run and they kill everyone, but Reva survives and is fine. And then we get a really goofy ass looking thing where Reva 1v1's like a snow speeder, and it looks horrible. It looks really bad. Like, the way she's blocked, she does this behind the back block when the speeder's in front of her. It makes no sense, and it looks really stupid. Like, what? It's like, oh, look how cool it makes no sense, and it looks, the optics of it are really bad. It looks stupid. Like, there's a snow speeder just hanging there, just shooting at her while she blocks everything. And again, it looks really slow and just, I don't know who thought that was good. And then you have the dumbass mushroom head Inquisitor that whispers all the time. It's like, oh, I hope Reva dies. It's a horrible death. I hate her. Like, that guy. He's there, and he's just like, Reva, you suck. She ends up taking out one of the snow speeders. It's supposed to be emotional because she kills one of the people, but you don't care about that guy at all. I will say, though, the Imperial spy lady is a complete dickhead, because earlier in the episode when they're trying to get these people to help them to get off planet to save Leia, they're like, oh, we're not soldiers, we're just normal people living our lives or whatever. Then after their friend dies and they get back to the ship, the Imperial spy lady goes, well, you're soldiers now. It's like, damn, lady, like, chill. And then we get like my favorite part of the episode, which Vader just comes moving with the quickness. This boy moving like he is just going through the halls of the Palace Inquisitor or whatever, and starts choking Reva, and you know she's not gonna die. Like, she has all the plot armor in the world. You know she's fine. But starts choking Reva and is like, what did I tell you about failure, you dummy? And she goes, well, I put a tracker on them. Where the tracker goes, they go. And then your mind immediately goes, oh yeah, the Leia ship. She must have messed with that, because there's early part of the episode where she had that. So Vader spares her life, and yeah, that's pretty much the end of the episode. We get Leia and Obi-Wan holding hands, see that they have a real connection now. So yeah, through these episodes, they've done a good job with making that connection between Obi-Wan and Leia. And this was a very, like, some of the episode I really liked. It had some of the highest highs, and then some of it is really bad. That's like how this show's been. Like, everything with Obi-Wan himself is good. Everything with Reva sucks cock and balls. Like, both. Not just cock or balls, cock and balls. It's bad. Like, if only there was a show that was about Obi-Wan and just Obi-Wan. That would be cool. But instead, it's half about Obi-Wan and half about some Inquisitor that you've never heard of before that is the least interesting Inquisitor. And it's just like, well, who wanted this? Like, if you want to do an Inquisitor show, that's fine, but do it separately. Don't throw it into my Obi-Wan show. Like, it's just, it feels like they're nerfing themselves. It's like Disney knows, hey, we have this cool story and this cool show here. What if we made it worse? Wouldn't that be dope? It's like, no. Why would you do that? That's not a good thing to do. That is, in fact, a very dumb thing to do. But Disney's like, nah, we're going to make it worse on purpose. And I just don't understand that. But that's basically my thoughts on this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. It was like the shortest episode we've had Kenobi yet, but I think this is the longest recap I've done. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments below what you think of this episode of Kenobi, and I will see you guys later. Peace, everyone.